I'm Asger, you can ask me anything. Today I'm answering this question. Do people inherit their parents' personalities? Haven't you ever tried to just catch yourself in some behavior and then realizing, oh my god, this is just like my dad always did, or something along those lines? So I'm going to answer this question, and I'm going to use logic, honesty, and humility, because I believe that we can pretty much talk about anything in a meaningful way if we apply those 3 principles. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to dive right into it right now. Now, according to geneticists, somewhere between 40 and 60% of our personality traits are actually inherited. This is based on the so-called Big 5 personality traits. I'll just put them on the screen. So is that just the answer, that we inherit roughly 50% of our personality traits from our parents? It is not, because if that was the case, that would mean that the Big 5 personality tests were perfect personality tests. Now we have to take a step back and ask, what is a personality in the first place? Some of the oldest texts we have actually sort of allude to people that have certain personality traits. So it's something that we've observed for thousands of years, if probably more than that even. We all knew that this person, be careful with this person, right? He tends to be aggressive if you take his banana or or whatever it may be. And this person is more mellow, or this person is trustworthy, this one not so much. So it's very obvious that we have these personality traits. Yeah. But the minute we start talking about psychometrics, that is measuring different aspects of the human psyche, we need to be aware of that what we're doing is we're sort of forcing something into a box that doesn't necessarily belong there. This doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. We can do so in an effort to compare people to each other, and that is typically why we do psychometrics. But when we talk about personality, we do so in a language that we have made up, that we have constructed, and we have to sort of, in some sense, at the very, very least, acknowledge that it is a man-made concept, this idea of personality, especially when we start measuring it. So many people have tried to study the personality, making these tests. Myers-Briggs is for some reason the one that is most used by corporations. What it seems to be most consistently valid over time. There's no doubt that the Big 5 based personality tests are the best ones around right now. Does that mean that they are an end-all solution to all personality tests? Does it mean that they capture your personality perfectly? Of course not. There's no way they can do that. And I'm sure that as we refine these personality tests over time, the personality test we'll use 50 or 100 years from now will probably be able to capture all the little details of your personality much better than the ones we have right now. But the findings that 40 to 60% of Big 5 personality traits are passed on genetically is actually quite significant. So let's ask this question. What else is there beyond genes that affects how a person's personality expresses itself or develops and what it develops into? Well, there's the environment, right? All the stimuli a person has throughout his or her life. But is there really anything else beyond that? I can't think of anything. If you can, please let me know. But I think it's fair to say that we really only have these 2 main things that can even affect our personalities. So we have the genes and we have the environment. So let's say that you have genes that makes you exceptionally outrovert. So what would happen if we put you in a prison or on a desert island or in a monastery? I mean, we could create an artificial environment around you that sort of try to force you to develop in a direction that goes against the traits that you've inherited. But can we really, though? I mean, it's an open question, and I don't have the answer to it. But here's my best guess. When we talk about personalities, that's a man-made construct. But if we define a personality trait as the way an individual reacts under certain circumstances where various stimuli are introduced, I think it's very fair to assume that the best personality tests we have right now don't accurately measure our personalities. But if we define a personality as something that must, per definition, be stable, then it's really quite remarkable that 40 to 60% of that is always passed on genetically. And if we add to that the personality test we have right now might not be perfect, might only measure a fraction of our actual stable personality traits, we could, in fact, and this is just a speculation, I'll be honest and say that, but we could in fact look at a scenario where the vast majority of whatever we call our personalities is defined by our genes. Now, there are some potential caveats or arguments against what I just said here. One of them is, of course, that almost everybody will have this experience. If you take a personality test when you're 18 and you take another one when you're 28 and another one when you're 38, there are gonna be some differences, all else equal. Maybe if you're in a very stable environment, if you haven't moved away, if you just stay in the same base environment, have more or less the same parameters affecting you and you responding to them, maybe that'll probably yield a more stable personality, so to speak. But most people will change over time. Maybe not fundamentally, but more like some smaller variations around the edges of the numbers. So just to sum up, yes, we do widely inherit some genes that make our personalities be expressed in a certain way. So yes, that's a yes. And I suspect as we get better personality tests and better understanding of our genome, we will only learn that an even greater part of our personalities are defined by our genes. At least that is my current stance on it. Am I 100% sure? No, I'm rarely 100% sure, but I think that is the most likely scenario. And that's it for now. And thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to this channel. Give it a like. Why not? It doesn't cost you anything. Has value to me. And I'll see you in the next one. I do videos here Sunday through Thursday, so stay tuned for that. And I'm Asger. You can ask me anything. Please do so in the comments below. And thanks for watching this video. Have a good one. Cheers.